There's more there.
Yeah, Our first guest is an all-around high-speed expert, the guy who created the incredible Navas cable DSL tuning guide here in the Bay Area with the Navas Group. It's great. There is the Navas Group. That's a great resource for anybody who wants to know more about speeding up their broadband. But he also turns out to be a kind of a video hacker. And he's joined us today. John Navas, it's good to have you in to show us something that's a follow-up to something we did before. We talked, and we've talked many times, about how people with CD burners can make video CDs. You can't make a DVD on a CD burner, but you can make video CDs. Now, the last time we talked about how to do this, we said, gee, the only problem is it's Mpeg 1, it's VHS quality.
And maybe not even that good.
Not even that. But we were wrong.
Well,
this man knows. He's taking CDs, burning video on them that look every bit as good as DVD, and I wanted you to show us how.
They're close. They're not exactly there, but they're close.
So you're making XVCDs.
Right. What you talked about before was a standards-compliant VCD, and there is, in fact, a standard. XVCD is a hack, admittedly, but it works on almost all computers and quite a large number of DVD players, not all.
The biggest difference is the resolution.
Correct.
What is the standard VCD
Standard
resolution?
VCD is for NTSC video is 352 by 240.
Well, that's a little window.
Pretty little window.
And if you blow it up, well, in fact, we have an example
What happens if you blow it up is you get a lot of artifacts and doubling because it's a coarse image.
This is a example of a...
This is actually an XVCD image right there, so it's much sharper actually than a
now,
VCD.
we have, and we showed it earlier, the earlier old resolution side by side.
Right.
I guess I don't have that right now. Okay.
In any event,
there it is. There it is. So the one on the left is that. What did you say?
The one on the left is video CD. That's 352 by 240.
And then the one on the right. What resolution is that?
Well, that's XVCD at 720 by 480.
Well, that's much higher resolution.
Way high. That's the same resolution as DVD and the DV camcorders, so it's way up there.
Very interesting.
But it's still encoded with Mpeg 1. That's the big difference.
See, I always thought Mpeg 1 wasn't capable of that high quality.
Well, that's what everybody seems to think. But it's remarkable what a good encoder can do, particularly if you break the rules a little bit on the encoding.
Okay. So XVCD is higher resolution.
Right.
Is there anything else that distinguishes it?
Well, if you don't change anything else, the higher resolution will create a very large file, which will, if you use constant bit rate, which will soak up your CD pretty fast.
Right.
Or the quality will be very low because you don't have enough bits to encode it.
Okay.
So the secret is to break the rule by going to variable bit rate encoding.
We've talked about that with MP3s.
Correct.
That's where you don't have a standard bit rate. You would start with a baseline, but if you need more data because it's a complicated image, you're allowed to go into a higher bit rate in the recording.
The encoder then is allowed to run between two limits. So I've set this particular sample of an encoder up with constant quality, meaning it tries to hold the quality the same, and I've let it use more than double the high bit rate for video CD and only about 1/4 the minimum rate. So it can vary between those two limits.
Now, that's very important, those limits. So the minimum is 300 kilobits per second.
That's what I recommend because I'm trying to ensure compatibility with players.
Any higher than 2500, same problem?
Into compatibility.
It'll play on a PC probably, but not on a DVD player.
Right. You're much more likely to have problems in a DVD
So
player.
for maximum quality balanced with maximum compatibility, the variable rate between 300 kilobits per second and 2500 kilobits per second.
And the other critical setting I've got here is that in this particular program, which I recommend highly, the Tsunami Mpeg Encoder, that I use a constant bit rate of between 60 and 70 for typical work. That gets about an hour of very high quality video on a video CD.
1 hour per CD.
All right, so
in order to do this, here are the 3 tools you need, the 3 software programs you need. Actually, we really only need 2. You've got to have an Mpeg 1 encoder, and for that we're going to recommend the Tsunami Mpeg Encoder, or TMPGENC.
Right, which is free.
Now, you say a filtering program is helpful?
Yes, if you have video that needs alteration, adjustment, the filters in Tsunami Mpeg are not terribly good, so I recommend using Virtual Dub, another free program.
And then finally, of course, you need a burning program, and you've got to have one that handles the VCD format.
Correct.
Most do nowadays.
Especially one that not only handles it, but will allow you a certain freedom so you can deviate from the standard.
Things like putting in menus, is that what you mean?
Well, the
or
menus
the freedom
are
to get the higher resolution.
The higher resolution, because some encoders will complain if the video is not exactly corresponding to the standard.
We'll show you all 3 of those programs. Let's start first with TMPGENC.
Right, which is what we're looking
Tsunami
at.
Mpeg Encoder. Okay, this is really the key to the whole thing, right?
Right, and this particular one, once we've dragged and dropped our AVI file into the encoder, we can then put the settings in. Now I've provided, and I believe you'll have available for download, templates that make it easier for your audience. They can download these templates, and if they click on the load setting and put in the correct template, there are 2 TechTV templates that are available. One is for standard NTSC, which is about 30 frames per second, and one is for NTSC film, which is about 24 frames per second.
It's not better or worse quality, it's just if you're coming from film or coming from video, is that the difference?
A lot of movies on DVD, for example, are
24
the film
frame.
rate. They're the
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they all had to be 30. Okay, that's good to know.
Exactly. So that allows you to have a template.
If I were taking it off a DV camera, most people are going to be taking it from their camcorder. That's what we're doing. We're going to make a CD for Grandma. I could use the 30 frame per second, 720 by 480.
In fact, if you drag the file into Tsunami Mpeg, it will tell you right on the bottom line what the correct frame rate is. And then you can pick which of the 2 templates to use.
This is a free program.
Free program.
Really amazing.
I've used all the commercial encoders up to and including the $2,000 CinemaCraft, and this is as good, if not better, than any of them.
This is the one Patrick showed when we talked about making a VCD, but what we didn't know is we could deviate from the standard for VCDs to make it higher quality.
He showed, I think, using the standard template settings. It has standard settings for video CD.
Now, filtering is only necessary if you're maybe taking it from DVDs or some other source where it needs to be cleaned up.
The filtering can be if you want to do a really good job of deinterlacing.
Okay.
It can be good if you want to change the size, if the frames are larger or smaller than you want. Or, for example, if you happen to take and time shift a program off of TV and get one of those little logos in the lower right-hand corner.
You want to get rid of that.
You want to get rid of that.
So what program do you recommend for that?
Virtual Dub.
How much is that?
Free. Again, free.
And the third program, Roxio will do it. We use a program called Nero. That seems to be, in fact, we've got, that's what we have on all our systems. Nero allows you to do VCDs, and we'll take this non-standard Mpeg 1 format.
There's a single option. You uncheck it, and it does non-standard.
And what else do you like?
There's also Easy VCD, which is free.
Right. Another great one.
VCDs, yes. They're all available.
We made it, so you took a clip from the screensavers.
Right.
How did you get it?
You gave me on disc a very high quality,
so you had a high quality uncompressed
original,
disc. Okay.
And I created both VCD and XVCD, and that's an XVCD.
Now, will all DVD players, this is a DVD player, will all DVD players play this?
No.
Okay.
Typically, you'll have the best luck playing an XVCD if it's VCD compatible in a fairly recent machine.
There it is. Now, you're watching at home, but I got to tell you, that looks pretty much exactly the same as it would if you were looking at a DVD. I mean, I can see a little artifacting, so maybe a little smearier than it would be.
This was an interlace source, so I had to blur it slightly to de-interlace it.
So it's blurred a little bit.
If I'm ripping from a DVD, the results are virtually indistinguishable.
Very good to know. You can deviate from the standard and still make a CD that your friends and neighbors can play on their DVD player.
And even if it won't play on your DVD player, which often it will almost always play on your computer.
Awesome. John Navas has, of course, put this all together with links, instructions, everything you need to know, even those very handy MCF files for the Tsunami Mpeg encoder, so you can just set it right up automatically. And that's on the screensavers.com. You did it again. You're the greatest. Thank you, John. Stay put, folks. We've got Morgan. She's going to show you the best place for clip art and how to put it in your gallery. Free clip art for you. And up next, Patrick takes off with the Blue Angels. Watch him pass out on live TV. But first, it's our birthday girl, Nicole, with a quick Windows tip.
You can tell shortcuts on your PC to open as minimized or maximized. It's easy. Here, just right-click on the shortcut. You're going to scroll down to Properties. Click Properties. Make sure you're on the Shortcut tab. Then click Run. You can pick from the drop-downs, minimized, maximized, or normal window. That's all there is to it. Come back soon for more screensavers.